Now, Vacancy is a 2007 film directed by Nimrod Antal, who did Armored and Predators. Now, a lot of people don't really care for Armored. I actually think it's underrated, and Predators was actually pretty good. It's a lot better than The Predator. That's just my own opinion. Vacancy had a budget of $19 million, and it made $35.3 million at the box office. It stars Kate Beckinsale and Luke Wilson. And I gotta be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Luke Wilson, but I thought he did a very good job in this movie. You know, Luke Wilson's usually in like the romantic type films or even comedies, but this was actually pretty good, and he does provide some humor in this movie. But you got Frank Whaley in this, you know, from Pulp Fiction. You got Ethan Embry, who I'm a huge fan of. You know, I really liked him in Vegas Vacation. He's in one of my favorite comedies of all time, and that's Can't Hardly Wait. So he you know, basically plays a killer in this movie. You got Scott Anderson, who plays a killer, but so it was thought that Sarah Jessica Parker was going to star in this film, but they got Kate Beckinsale instead. Thank God for that, because I am not the biggest fan of Sarah Jessica Parker. The only movie I can really stand her in is Hocus Pocus. But other than that, I'm glad Kate Beckinsale is in this film. I'm a really big fan of hers. But the movie is about a husband and a wife that don't really get along. They're having marriage problems because of a tragedy that happened with their son. And they don't really want to talk about it. You get a little bit of a glimpse of what happened, and you know, when they're talking in the car. But other than that, they're just arguing back and forth. They're not happy. There's going to be a divorce coming or a separation. And their car breaks down. And they're out in the middle of nowhere because he decides to take a shortcut. And so up the road, there is this motel that looks vacant. There's a repair shop there. They go there to try to get repairs. It's closed. So the manager is in the back room of this hotel, and they go in. And, you know, they decide to get a room because in the morning, you know, there's going to be a guy there to maybe fix the car. And so there's no one there, but it just looks vacant. And so the manager ends up giving them a room. They go into the room, and the room is very dirty. They haven't upgraded it in years, it seems like. I mean, the water, the bed looks like they haven't washed it. The floors look like they haven't washed it. It's just very, very old. And so, you know, they can't really stand it. They're complaining. Luke Wilson finds a bunch of videotapes and starts to pop them in to watch them on the TV. And come to find out, it's a bunch of tapes of people getting killed and murdered in a room. Well, he soon finds out that those people are actually getting killed in the same room that they are staying in. So he then finds out that the room has cameras everywhere, hidden. And what's going on here is that they're filming people in this room and making snuff films out of them and selling them to truckers and stuff. That's what's happening here. So Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale find that they need to get out of this place, but they're trapped in the room because these two killers will not let them go. They keep banging on the door, banging on the window, and they block off the door and lock it so they can't get in, so they're trapped. So they got to find some way to get in contact with the police or get into a car or get the hell out of there. And so it becomes like a cat and mouse game. But it's very intense and terrifying at times. I'm really enjoying this movie the second time around because I've only seen this movie one time. And I gotta say, the first time I saw it, it was very, very enjoyable, and I really, really enjoyed it again. And, like I said, it's on the edge of your seat. You're wanting these people to survive. You're actually rooting for them. It's got great music. I love the acting, and like I said, the humor when it comes around, it really works for the film. I just think this movie has a lot going for it, but again, not very many people really talk about this film. I guess you could say it flies under the radar in a way, but the chemistry between Kate Beckinsale and Luke Wilson is very, very good. I mean, they're annoyed at each other first, right? They're having problems, and then you see them come together. This dynamic that happens in movies that are so well done. I love this dynamic. they can't stand each other at first, but because of the situation that they're in, they find a way to come together and work together, and they actually have feelings for each other still. The feelings are still there. It's almost like they needed this situation to happen in order to save their marriage and their relationship. So I don't know. I love the emotional connection there. And at the same time, they're being hunted by these killers. It definitely is a slasher because there's two guys with knives, stabbing people and killing people. What's interesting about this movie is that in the special features, you can watch the extended versions of the snuff films. Because in this movie, you see Luke Wilson popping in videotapes and they show clips of these snuff films. Well, in the special features, you get to watch the whole snuff film, which is really, really awesome. There's quite a few of them, too. So that's really cool. This movie's awesome. I definitely recommend it to people. If you have not seen Vacancy, I highly suggest you watch it. Would I consider this movie to be underrated? I would say yes. There is a sequel, which is actually a prequel, which is not as good, in my opinion, as this one, but that's actually worth watching too. But yeah, if you have not seen Vacancy, I definitely recommend it.